If you've ever watched the show NCIS that first aired in 2003, you'll know that Jimmy Palmer is one of the most lovable characters on the show. He's a total fan favorite, you know the kind, but the autopsy gremlin had some moments on the show that were just painfully hard to watch. And that's what we're going to talk about today. First up is when Palmer was on the ledge of a building. In a season 14 episode titled Keep Going, Jimmy finds a young man standing on the edge of a building that shadowed a crime scene. Seeing this, Jimmy just had to rush up there and try to stop the man from doing anything drastic. And before you know it, there he is. Our sweet Jimmy up there on a ledge with him. Our acrophobia was surely triggered. At that point, it looked like they would both go down. The whole time Jimmy was on the ledge of that building, we were on the edge of our seats. Next, we have Jimmy reveals his failures. In the same episode, Jimmy was finding ways to convince this man to come inside, desperately trying to change his mind. He thought he might as well try sharing his own struggles, and in doing so, he accidentally revealed to his co-workers, who had absolutely no idea, that he passed his medical examiner's exam only after failing them 2 times. Third time's a charm, right? Thankfully though, our superhero saved the day and it all worked out. And now, for when Jimmy loses his wife. In season 18, which is set around 2020, something tragic happened. 2020? Tragic? Sound familiar? You guessed it. COVID-19 had hit the world like a storm, and it didn't even spare our favorite TV characters. In the episode, The First Day, we get to know that the love of Jimmy's life, his wife, and the mother of his child, Brina Palmer, has died of the COVID-19 virus about 2 months ago. It was so sad, even depressing, but it wasn't even the worst part of it. The worst part was having to watch Jimmy cope with and process it. And if we're being honest, he wasn't doing too well. And that's an understatement. No one likes seeing people they love go through unimaginable circumstances, and we love Jimmy. We really do. After she died, Jimmy had fallen into some sort of denial phase. He was being annoyingly cheerful. Constantly, he increased his workload threefold, and at the same time he was homeschooling his daughter, Victoria Palmer. Being a new single parent and widower, he had his mother move in to help out a little. Next up, when Gibbs and Jimmy have a talk. The team was worried about his behavior, and it clearly didn't seem like he was doing well. So despite him overcompensating and acting like nothing happened, this led to Gibbs stepping in and having a talk with him. Since Gibbs had previously lost his wife, it was fitting for him to deal with the situation. In this tear-jerking scene, he points out to Jimmy that he is in denial and that he needs to let himself properly grieve his loss. That was the point we see our poor Jimmy break down. Our hearts literally shatter when he tells Gibbs about the letter he wrote to Brina about everything he loves about her. He wanted to give it to her when she woke up, but she never woke up. The hospital COVID-19 protocol at the time didn't even let him be with her in her last moments. He never got to say goodbye. This scene was especially difficult to get through, since this wasn't just TV anymore. This was happening all around us in our real lives too, and it was just too painfully real. And now, we have when Jimmy was poisoned. Okay, so no one, we repeat no one, likes it when their favorite character on TV dies, especially if the show has been going on for over 2 decades. At this point, I think we're far too emotionally invested in these characters for us to be able to separate them from reality. We love Jimmy. He's our friend. We don't want his daughter to lose another parent so soon after losing her first. So that being said, we are so incredibly relieved to find out that our favorite characters made it out alive by the end of the episode. But man, all that anticipation of will he make it out alive? Does his story end here? It was quite stressful to say the least. Now let's talk about this particular worst moment. In season 19, the episode The Helpers had some Jimmy moments that we hated seeing. The episode starts with his hallucination of none other than his dearly beloved late wife, who had recently passed away. They are in a serene meadow, and his dead wife is urging him to wake up. That's already depressing. Then the scene cuts to Jimmy and forensic scientist Casey, both slumped across the floor of the slab, their bodies limp, nearly dead. This was all thanks to a mystery poison that the two were exposed to just hours earlier. When this happened, they were both automatically locked down together in the lab. And to make this all worse, this was the same day Jimmy planned a bring your daughter to work day. If we had a hard time watching this, imagine just how much it sucked to watch poor Victoria go through watching her only living parent almost die. Despite almost dying a cruel death, Jimmy too was worried about orphaning his only child. His nose was raining blood, but he was only thinking about his daughter. Parents truly are something else. Another sorrowful moment from that episode is when Victoria pours her heart out to Torres, talking about how she misses the way her father used to be, before keeping things from her. Jimmy is regretfully listening in on this conversation, and watching him hear the way his daughter says that really struck a nerve in all of us. Families go through a lot when they're grieving, but it's important to keep the communication in check. Next, we have when Jimmy and Victoria say goodbye. This episode was just outright depressing. The next thing you know, you see Jimmy and Victoria exchanging their forever goodbyes. Through the glass that separates them, Jimmy must confront his daughter with the bitter truth that he's dying. That everybody, one day, dies. This moment was heartbreakingly difficult to watch. How does one say goodbye? You'd be lying if you said you didn't bawl your eyes out when the father and daughter did the Kirk and Spock hands against the dividing glass walls. Our eyes were positively bawled out. The end of this episode was a pivotal pivotal moment for Jimmy. As he laid snuggled up with his sleeping daughter, it's shown that he has removed his wedding ring from his finger. This is a melancholic moment for us fans, since we love Jimmy and want him to have a full, happy life. But we loved his relationship with his late wife, Brina, and this moment forced us to move on too. As somber as this episode was, it's interesting to note that this isn't the first time Jimmy and Casey were trapped together in a dangerous situation. In a season 17 episode called Blarney, the two were trapped in a hostage-type situation. It didn't look like they would make it through without some serious damage. In fact, we would say that was another one of those moments no one really liked to watch. And finally, when Jimmy and Casey are held hostage. In this episode, Jimmy is headed over to a diner for a nice, relaxing breakfast when he runs into his colleague and friend, Casey. They decide to go grab a booth and enjoy a nice meal together, not knowing what the day holds for them. A group of bad guys who attempt to rob a jewelry store rush back into the diner after a somewhat failed mission and hold everyone, including our guy Jimmy and gal Casey, hostage. These men had swallowed stolen diamonds that were stuffed in condoms. Yes, condoms. In a turn of events, one of the bad guys insists that Jimmy and Casey should slice open one of his fallen friends, Bobby, to retrieve the condom full of goodies. The situation is not looking good. If Jimmy doesn't follow his orders, he could be killed. But as it goes, the two peas in a pod did some quick thinking and formulated a plan. Jimmy and Casey told him that his dead friend Bobby swallowed broken glass along with the condom, and that it teared all the way down his gut, and that if he didn't get medical attention as soon as possible, he would probably die of internal bleeding. Thankfully, this did the trick, and our heroes were able to walk out of that diner to live another day. Whew, don't know about you, but we did not see that one coming. It always hurts a little bit when you know your favorite character is in trouble. In moments like these, we're begging and pleading to whoever is responsible that they make it out of there well and alive. Their pain is our pain, and that's why we hated these moments. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think that these were some of the most hated Jimmy Palmer moments in NCIS? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.